All right, thanks everybody for joining. I will start with telling a little backstory of Northbridge and of me. So, I'm a former international student from the Netherlands, and when I came to the US a couple years ago for an education and for playing soccer, I wanted to stay after I graduated and find a job on OPT. But I quickly realized that it was pretty difficult for an international student to find a job because there is a lot of misconception about international hiring. A lot of hiring managers and employers think that international hiring is very expensive, that it's very complicated. So that kind of got me thinking, um, like, is this only me or is this a bigger problem? So I was able to find a job, luckily, but it was still circling around in my head. So I started talking to former teammates and other classmates that were also international students, and they um, pretty much confirmed what I was thinking and what I experienced as well. So yeah, with that in mind, Mats and I, who played soccer together at Point Park, kind of reconnected after we both graduated um, and started thinking seriously about this problem. So we started surveying a lot of international students, a lot of university reps, and a lot of employers around the country to get a better understanding what the problem exactly was and how big it was. So what kind of came out of those surveys was that employers said they would be willing or at least open to considering hiring international students if they knew more about how it worked. So if they knew more about how easy it was, they said they would be willing to consider it. And university staff said that they were just having a very hard time to connect their international students with those educated employers. And that's kind of where Northbridge came about. So now we have a platform with two main components. One is the job board. So we have a job board that is updated every morning at 7 a.m. New jobs join or enter the platform, and also outdated and filled jobs are removed. Um, that is the job board. Then we also have an informational part where we explain how international hiring works for employers, but also for students. We host monthly events with immigration experts, with career coaches, and industry professionals to talk about subjects that are interesting for international students, like, for example, job searching strategies. Um, and there are a couple more features that I will show you. So I'm going to start sharing my screen and kind of give you a little breakdown of the platform. I think everyone can see my screen now, right? Okay. All right, so I'm gonna start with showing the job board. Like I mentioned, this is updated every morning. New jobs are added and outdated and failed jobs are removed. So, for example, if you, for example, want to look for an engineering job, you can either find it by typing it in, or you can filter on industry, state, internship base, full-time jobs, and there are a couple other employment types as well. If you see a job that you're interested in, you can click on it. On our job board, our mission and our goal is to save you time. We think that if you, most of the times, if you see the title of the job, you already know if you want to apply to it or not. So when you click on a job on our job board, we write a little summary of the core responsibilities. We list the skills, the benefits, and you can find some additional information here. Um, if this is a role that you're interested in, you can click on apply and you will be forwarded to the company website where you can find the full job description. But like I said, on our platform, we want to save you time so you can quickly see what and spot what matters. Like I mentioned, the job board is updated every morning. We are also trying to find more and better jobs than we currently have because there's always room to improve. But our job board currently has about 10,000 active jobs. And like I said, this can change every day based on the amount of edit and remove jobs. Um, Now I want to show you a little bit of some of the informational parts and features that we have. Um, One of the features is that we have visa guide. So we break down what your work authorization options are as an international student, because we think it's very important for you as a student to fully understand your work authorization before you start applying. So when you have that interview with an employer and that visa question comes up, you know exactly what to say, and um, you won't scare the employer away with, for example, over explaining your work authorization. Um, we are still adding more and more information to the visa guide. So we currently have a um, OPT and CPT guide, but we are adding in the next few days STEM OPT guide, internship guide, and also based on feedback that we get from students, we can add more and more as well. So if you guys, for example, um, have any suggestions on work authorization, um, feel free to just pop them in the chat. We also host monthly events. This is the event today, but if you, for example, have missed events that have happened in the past, you can find the recordings of those here. And with most of the events that we host, we also write a little summary and key takeaways of it. Um, some of you have been in previous events as well with immigration law firms. With those firms, we are not able to record um, the events because of company policy. So for those, we write a little summary. We also have a monthly Q&A session with an immigration law firm for students with an active subscription and students from partner universities, where you can ask any question that you have about your visa, maybe other visas as well, because there's a lot more possible and there are a lot more options than just your student visa. Um, Now I'm going to show you some of the advisor listings. So besides the job board, one of our most powerful features is the advisor listings. You can apply to so many jobs, but it is very important to have the right strategy. So here we now have 3 advisors listed, but we are in the process of onboarding about 10 more advisors who are either career coaches, DSOs, immigration lawyers, but also former international students who have done it before. Um, to give you guidance. We think maybe this is even more important than the job board, because if you don't have the right strategy, if you don't have the correct resume, you can apply to every visa-friendly job, but you still have to convince the employer that you are a good candidate. Like they won't hire you because you are an international student, but because you are a good candidate. So to give you a little overview of some of the profiles here, this is an immigration lawyer. You can read a little summary about what he has done and what kind of specializations he has. You can read about some of the services that he is offering. You can connect with him on LinkedIn and you can email him. And then you can also, and that is what we think is very powerful, you can schedule a free meeting with him. So if you click on schedule an appointment, you will be forwarded to his booking page where you can book a free meeting with him for 15 or 20 minutes. You can ask him any question that you have about, in this case, different visas. But for example, here, Ash is a career coach. So she can, for example, help you with resume writing, with interview preparation. But also, if you are an undergrad student now and you want to apply for grad school, and she can also help you with that. Um, so yeah, that is a little overview of the advisors. Like I mentioned, we are adding more in the next few days. Um, there's also a feature for you as a student to get recognized by hiring managers. So you can post your own profile here on our like student listing board, I would say. If hiring managers are on the platform and they are looking, for example, for a student with a specific skill, with a certain background from a specific university, um, they can find you here and they can connect with you. So this is my profile just to showcase. You can add anything from your summary, skills, work experience, any other extracurricular activities. You can see it all here. You can add your LinkedIn profile and your email. We also highly encourage students that are currently on the platform to create this and connect with other students, because you can learn so much from students who have done it before, but also if you just, for example, have a little chat with another student that's also job searching, you can have a little conversation about what is working for them and what is not working, to maximize your chances. Um, those are, I believe, all the features for students. Now, with our current website, we also have opportunities for university staff to see what their students are doing on the platform. So I'm going to show you an example of a page of what it will look like as a university admin. Um, Let me see this real quick here. So this is an example of a page. So you as a university admin um, are able to, for example, post announcements to your students that are currently on the platform. So if we have a partnership with you as a university, there all your international students are able to join the platform with their university email address. They don't need to pay anything, based on the agreement, of course. And everyone that is joining the platform is able to see what you post. So if there's, for example, a campus event, if there are any updates related to OPT, STEM OPT, you can communicate with all your students here, and you can also see what your students are doing. But it's very important to know that this is customizable. So this is a new feature that we just started. We have a couple options for you as a university admin to, for example, see the name of the students that are on the platform, their email, their major, and when they join. But we can customize this. So we can also add, for example, when was the last time the student logged in? To how many jobs is the student applying? You can name it. So based on your needs as a university person, we can customize your dashboard so you can make the most out of the partnership and of the platform as well. Um, I believe those are most of the features. So there's one more thing as an employer, but I don't believe that we have any employers now. But employers and hiring managers can post jobs on the platform for free. So let me show you that real quick. Oh, this is not it. Mm, Maxi, am I not seeing something that I'm supposed to see? Oh, here, or not? Yeah. So as an hiring manager, you don't need to pay anything to join our platform. So we also encourage university staff to tell employers that they are working with to post jobs on Northbridge, um, if they are open to hiring international students, because it doesn't cost them anything to recruit talented international students. So here's just what a normal job posting would look like. It's very easy. It only takes a couple minutes, and they will be added to the job board as well. Um, and once we develop and um, take more time, and there will be more features for employers also to boost jobs, to get access to and insights to analytics and stuff like that. Um, so yeah, there are a couple more features that we are working on now. A few I mentioned already, but that is to get more and better jobs on the platform. And we are also onboarding more advisors in the next days. We are also working on a general announcements page. So now You as a university admin, for example, can post announcement just to your students, but there will also be a general announcement board for everyone that is on the platform to either ask questions, to post updates. We can post updates on things that we are working on the platform, but also like we can post immigration updates, and we are also encouraging our advisors to post updates as well regarding anything related to international students. And there will also be a notifications option. So if you are a student that is, for example, interested in computer science jobs or engineering jobs, you will be able to set filters and notifications so that every day there's, for example, a new job in the analytics field uploaded on the job board, you will receive an email or a notification on your portal on the website that this job is available, and you will be one of the first ones that can apply to this job. Um, but I think that I covered everything now. It is very important for everybody to know that everything is customizable. As you know, we just transitioned on Saturday to this new platform. So we are still onboarding all of our previous users, which are almost 5,000 users on the previous platform. So we are still making sure that everybody knows they can use the new platform now as well. And we are adding more and more features every week. Like our tech team is working every day to make the website better and also listen to feedback that everyone has. So we are actively collecting feedback as well. And maybe Mats or Maxi can add that email address in the chat real quick. But we have an email, which is feedback@northbridgestudent.com, where you can have like let us know what you think of the platform, if there are features that you would love to see. But you can also connect with us on LinkedIn or on the email as well. Because I always would love to talk with people and learn more about what you think of it and if there are ways to make it better. Um, but yeah, that is the presentation that I had. I'm gonna enable people to unmute if there are any questions. Let me see how this works. All right. If anyone has any questions, you can unmute yourself, or I saw there was also some questions in the chat already, but anyone still has a question?
Yeah, I have a question. Sorry, my camera's not working. Um, can you remind us what is the costs involved? Number one, for a university to be a quote official partner, or if an individual student wants to join, what are the costs?
Yes. Um, First of all, great to see you again, Chris. You have joined so many webinars. I'm glad that you are still supporting our mission. Um, but yes, it is for students can join the platform on two ways. One is they have an individual subscription, and then they pay $10 per month to access all the features that I showed you. Um, and there's also an opportunity for a university to cover the cost for their students. This is really just based on the amount of students that the university has, because we want to be flexible as well, because we know that universities have budgets and that it doesn't always go to the international office. And that's why we want to be flexible, and we want to work with you to come to a mutual agreement on the pricing. So yeah, Chris, I would love to reconnect and schedule a meeting with you to talk more about that. But just know that there are two important things. That one is that everything is customizable, and the other one is that we want to be flexible, because we know that every university works different, and that's why we don't have one partnership option for a university.
I understand. Can you talk a little bit about your success? Just some numbers. can you say we've placed X amount of students on OPT? And maybe you don't want to divulge that, but maybe just give us a general idea, or on average, a Northbridge placement gets X amount of salary after being placed. Do you have any of that kind of snapshot data?
Yeah, so that is very difficult for us to collect. So, as you probably know as well, the previous website that we had was very basic and very limited on what we could do and also what we could track. So, we are now also implementing or trying to implement a system that we can see better what students are doing because also right now we don't know what happens when the student clicks on apply. We don't know if they even apply to the job on the company website. And you probably know that as well, and other people as well, that if you are actively job searching, you are using many different platforms like probably LinkedIn, Handshake, Indeed. Um, and if you hear something back, a lot of times you don't even know where you applied. But we are trying to implement a system that you can see where you applied on our job board. LinkedIn has a similar feature that when you apply externally, you go to the company website. And when you go back to LinkedIn, there's a pop up which says, did you apply or not? We want to implement something similar. Also, I do want to mention that like we do not guarantee that you are going to find a job. We just want to give you all the tools available. That's why I also emphasize that it is so important for students with the subscription to use the advisors because those people can give you real insights and give you real like experience. They can share their own experience on what worked for them and what didn't work for them. Um, because a lot of times people find jobs through connections and through networking, and that's also why we are hosting monthly events where we tackle and talk about those topics so that when the OPT period is coming up, which is coming up very soon, you are fully prepared and you have the option to apply to visa friendly jobs through our job board, but you also have all the support that you need and that you a lot of times cannot get if you just send someone a message on LinkedIn like, hey, do you want to chat? A lot of people don't have time for that. But through the features that we have with the advisor listings, students are able to schedule free meetings with those people. So I hope that answers your question a little bit. I know that's probably not what you uh, like. I know you were looking for numbers, but that's just very hard for us to track, especially on the old website. So we are trying to implement a better system now. Does anyone else have any other questions?
I
So,
see Emmanuel put a question in the chat, and then I followed him with a second.
okay. What do you mean with success rate of advisors? And also, if you have a subscription, then you can book free meetings with advisors. But in order to go to the advisors page, you need a subscription.
So if you have a subscription, the advisor's uh, uh, advice is free, or you get like an initial one for free, and then you pay a fee for service.
Yeah, so if you have a subscription, you can schedule free meetings with those advisors. So let me show that real quick. So I'm now logged in as someone with a subscription. I go to the communities tab and I go to advisor, and then you can click on the profile, you can click on schedule appointment, and then you will be forwarded to their booking link. And from there, you just fill in your information and you can book a free meeting with these people. So, for example, if I want to schedule a meeting here, you just fill in like all your information and then you can schedule the meeting and that is free. So it is included with your Northbridge subscription.
Okay, thanks.
Yes, and I was asking, and I was asking for my question, like just as how Chris asked for some numbers with how um, students have been applying for jobs. I wanted to see like what the numbers have been for those career coaches and immigration coaches, and how they have been been successful at helping international students.
I don't know if I can answer that question, but I do know that the majority of the students that are on our platform are using those advisors to get help and advice. So advisors have on their scheduling, like they can decide how many hours a week they want to dedicate to helping students through Northbridge. Some do it 1 hour a week, but there are also advisors that just open their whole calendar. And I would say that advise, like now we have worked with 3 advisors over the past few months, but like I said, in the next few days, we are going to add a couple more. But advisors get around 10 meetings a week with students. And what I've heard from students that have used it is that they just really appreciate that the option is there and that it is so easy to just schedule a meeting and get in contact with them because um, students, what I heard from them is that on LinkedIn, it is almost impossible to schedule a meeting with somebody, um, especially with career coaches, immigration lawyers. Most of them don't do it for free um, because they get hundreds of messages. So with this feature, it's just easy for you as a student to book a free meeting. You don't need to contact them first. You don't need to explain a lot of stuff before the meeting. You can just schedule your meeting and ask anything you want. And based on the length of the conversation, there are possibilities to schedule a follow-up meeting as well, but that is just dependent the um, on the student and the advisor relationship. Um, so we don't interfere with their communications and stuff like that. That is just between the advisor and the student, what happens during that meeting and what communications come from that after. I hope that answers the question a little bit.
Yes, thank you.
Um, so I see a question, how long on average your student uses your service? Oh, Mats already answered that. Yeah. So right now you cannot directly connect with recruiters on the platform because we are onboarding and are in the process of onboarding a lot of employers and hiring managers. Um, Employers and hiring managers currently have the option to recruit with students that they are interested in and that have a good background, but we are still in the process of thinking what the best way to do this is because if we have um, information of hiring managers on the platform, um, we have to think about on how to do this best because we don't want employers and hiring managers that are on the platform get hundreds of messages from people that want a job. So we are still working on that and you will if you can follow us on LinkedIn, you will see updates on when we are implementing new features as well. So yeah, that is something we are still working on. All right. Are there any other questions? Okay, then I'm gonna stop the recording.